So part of the attack me, the disabled button, so the door wouldn't work. Normally when you hit it like this, it works. Yeah, now, so we make it hard for me everywhere now I go. Even the Target store in Manhattan on Greenwich Street, they disabled the disabled door for weeks now. You know, they want people bumping into me. I don't know if there's some kind of extortion, racketeering, Ponzi scheme they're on. They want people bumping into me and people be jumping at me, trying to bump into me. I don't know, maybe because my mother was killed and I should Bellevue Hospital. You know, so I don't know what is going on, but they're using the city of New York and the state of New York facilities to cause all kinds of mob type, extortion type activity. So they're disabling. Normally when you hit it like this, it will open. You know, so they're disabling the. You know, so it's very difficult. Even if you're disabled, you know, you have to have extra strength. See? And this is giving me chest pain. You know, so the city of New York, I don't know why they're so lackadaisical, you know, in enforcing the laws and to protect people, the disabled, and the foreigner like me. And this Eric Adams, the corruption under his administration, you know, where he said he was expecting the police to kill a black person soon. And I reached out to him, I'm a black person, and in Nigeria, I need a hotel room. I was vacated, and it's mainly helping black Americans that were vacated, putting them in a hotel room. Because the city of New York signed an agreement in the 1990s with the Legal Aid Society that anybody vacated, they're going to provide them a hotel room. And the court ordered the agreement to be, a fact. So, you know, I'm at the Staten Island Ferry, you know, where I'm being attacked. You know, when I try to use the bathroom, they mock me. I'm a Nigerian transsexual. They go and block up the light store and create a stampede. I would take out of the bathroom and cause a large, you know, lock up the main bathroom so there'll be a large line. And one people bumping into me. You know, they try to, and it could cause a stampede. They could get people killed. So the city of New York, please contact the authorities. They're going to cause a stampede of people killed. Anytime anytime I try to complain like this, they will retaliate against. If I dare come back here, they will try to beat me up. They have a black American janitor that call me nigger. You know, will try to beat me up, and the police have stopped coming at night. Because, you know, I always run to the police, and the police will hide from me. Now they say they changed the rules. The police will no longer be here at night. You know, and the security guards wouldn't help me either. They'll tell me call 911. You know, and the police, they have a police post next to the bathroom. So, you know, they just set up a lynch mob. You know, I'm a Nigerian transsexual. The NYPD evicted me from my home, vacated unlawfully in 2010, September 9, 2010. Me and my mother, they sexually harassed me. I took the case to court. Me and my mother complained to 311, and ERRIN was going to help us with the court papers. They took ERRIN dead close to my birthday in 2014. My birthday, July 8, they took him dead. They took ERRIN dead July 17, 2014. Then about a year later, my mother's daughters in America, they were born here in America, Flora and Bolonley, feigned mental illness. So my mother, she was having heart problems. She was at Bellevue Hospital, getting treated there. They feigned mental illness on her, and God manipulated the hospital to put her in the psych ward. And my mother didn't want to go to the psych ward, and got a kid and went and stole a storage property. And my mother was experiencing that kind of abuse because, you know, she was hypertensive. And at some point, I had an immigration case when she brought me to the country in 2000, and the immigration she had a green card, and the immigration said people with green card can't bring children. And they kidnapped me, put me in immigration prison. And she was working as a homeless lady, earning minimum wage. She had to pay the lawyer to try to get me out of prison. So her blood pressure was rising up higher and higher. So at some point, she was going to school. She was working in 2001. A year after I came into the country, at JFK, I was arrested. So she was going to school. She was working, and she couldn't sleep. She couldn't sleep. Her blood pressure rose up so high. So I called 911, and we took her to the hospital. And instead of the hospital treating her for hypertension, they were like, you know, calling every black person crazy at that time period. Even Michael Jackson was alive. They were calling Michael Jacko. His father was like saying he was very afraid that they were calling his child Wacko Jacko, because when they call a black person crazy in this country, they could kill that black person, because the two people don't have rights in America: crazy people and the black people. So when you're black and they call you crazy, and my mother was another category, she was a black foreigner. So in 2001, I was having an immigration crisis, and the lawyer wasn't showing up in court. My immigration court record would show, and the judge told us to get a new lawyer. Me and my mother was looking for a new lawyer. She was going to school full time. She was working full time, and she didn't sleep no more, and she had a high blood pressure. So I took her to the hospital, I took her to the Bailey City. No, it's called Staten Island. It's on Castleton Avenue on Staten Island. It's called the St. Vincent Medical Center. I think they changed their name now. It's called the St. Vincent Medical Center. And when I took her there, they caused this commotion. They decided to admit her in psych. I was a foreigner. I wasn't proficient in American English. My mother was a foreigner. She wasn't proficient in American English. So between me and her, they misread our language. I was just 1 year in the country, so they admitted her in psych. My mother wasn't crazy, so she was really scared. So, she was scared that somebody's going to use this record against her, because she knew the kind of daughters she has. They're very, very manipulative. So she, so she got in touch with her daughters to come free her. Back then, and the daughter said, she has to come live with them. My mother wasn't crazy. So now you're crazy, you have to come live with her. So they took my mother away from me. I was here in New York stranded by myself. Our daughters even took the TV we had in the room, because we rented a one-room shack, So she left me all alone. So our daughter said I have to come with them. So I was like, hell no. Because they were very dangerous and very manipulative. So they said, okay, we're going to leave you in New York by yourself. And my mother wasn't crazy. So they took my mother with them. They told my mother, you're crazy. So you're going to be under our control. And my mother wasn't crazy. They just misdiagnosed her in the hospital as depressed and stuff. But she was just having a high blood pressure. So then my mother ran back to New York. They said they were maltreating her, and she got back to working, And she was fine. Our daughters even feigned mental illness over me. In 2000, around 2001, the feigned mental illness over me also. My mother took me there, and left me there. I was trying to come back with her, and one of her daughters hit me with a car. So she was driving my mother back to New York, to the Grand Station, and I was trying to get into it because I had a court case. And the other daughter, called 911 on me. I lied to the police that I had a weapon. I was attacking people. So, and that was after Diallo was killed. And she would have got me killed. Her name is Bolali. She would have got me killed in Pittsburgh. So they took me to the Pittsburgh hospital. They call it Mercy Providence Hospital. And I was a foreigner. I wasn't proficient all that in American English. So I had to call and the hospital told me, and I told her, can you please release me to go to New York? I have an immigration deportation case. And my daughter, the hospital told me, your mother's daughter said you don't have no immigration case. Yeah, just crazy. So I had to call my lawyer in New York, and my lawyer called the hospital to release me. So the hospital apologized to me, and that was how I ended up in New York. So when the same thing happened to my mother before my immigration court hearing, at the time of my immigration court hearing, and she had a nervous breakdown, she had a high blood pressure. So our daughters took her away because, she wasn't sleeping right, and she was working, and she wanted them to help her with money, really. But they just wanted power over her. They wanted power over her because they were born in America, and she wasn't proficient in American English. They were just very manipulative. So when the NYPD, and so since that 2001, my mother tried to avoid, she never lived with her daughters because it was very manipulative. When they took her to Pittsburgh, she came back to New York. And she resumed working, and she was fine until 2015. Until 2010, when the NYPD took her home, and my mother couldn't find a place to stay in New York, so she went to live with her daughters, around 2015. Yeah, that was when she, for 12 years, you know, since then after we took her home, so we stayed in a shelter, didn't do work so good, you know, and then she left in 2014 to go to Pittsburgh, and it was so horrible. They were talking to people in Nigeria that wanted to kill my mother. My mother testified in my immigration court hearing that those people were very harmful to me and her. You know, the cases, my immigration files is at the immigration court at Federal Plaza, 26 Federal Plaza. You know, so in 2015, while my mother was staying with her daughters in Pittsburgh, she started having heart problems. So she got on the Greyhound bus to come to New York because she knew her daughters could use a record to get the hospital to put her again in psych ward and give them total control over her life. So my mother, you know, was so afraid she got on the Greyhound bus because she knew her daughters were very manipulative and they wanted power over her. You know, so she got on and they were talking to people in Nigeria that wanted to kill my mother. You know, so she didn't trust them for, why was it was very adversarial towards her interests? Why would they want control over her? You know, so my mother got on the bus because they always blame my mother for not, they always blame her for everything. They were born in America, but they all said my mother didn't do enough. And my mother was trying to explain to them that she was a foreigner, so she's sorry she didn't give them the American dream life. You know, because she was a foreigner and she had status issues. You know, so she didn't give them the American dream or whatever. You know, as a foreigner, she always had visa issues. You know, so they always blame her like it's her fault. You know, that she should have given them the American dream. You know, as a matter of fact, she won a lawsuit because she was staying in a place and the landlord had led, and she wanted to give out her daughters took the money. One of her daughters, I believe, took out the money. There was a whole lot of money. Yeah, and my mother would say they were still blaming her that she never gave them the American dream life. They wanted, you know, even though they had they got a lot of money. Well, at least one of them, because she was staying in a place and there was lead paint there, and she sued the landlord. And one of the daughters got the money, Flora, you know. She said they never appreciated that they wanted, I guess, it was like there was always constant friction. And they were always contacting people in Nigeria that wanted to kill my mother, calling them on the phone and stuff. So my mother didn't want her daughters to have power over her. You know, so when my mother began having, in 2014, she went to stay with them for a while, and there was always problem. Police got involved, but the police wouldn't give her a police report. One of my mother's daughters' husband, Flora's husband, worked in the U.S. military. My mother said was trying to beat her up, and the police came, but wouldn't give my mother the police report. So she went to her other daughters blindly, and she said she didn't feel safe there either. So when she was back down to have her heart attack, she got on the Greyhound bus to come to escape to New York. And on the Greyhound bus, the heart problem got severe, but she told the Greyhound bus driver to keep driving, you know, and then she ended up at the hospital when she got to New York. So our daughters, you know, when they see she didn't return to Pittsburgh, she didn't know how to find out what hospital she was in New York. And they came over there, they kept, my mother didn't tell her what hospital she was in. She kept stalling them that she's in the hospital in New York, they shouldn't worry about her. But they managed to find out and came and were telling the hospital to put her in the psych ward. And my mother was already recovering, you know. And the famous mental of my mother put her in the psych ward, went to her storage, stole her property, and went and dumped her body in New Jersey for burial. So I wouldn't be able to make it to the burial. And everything happened so fast. Yeah, everything was like a Hollywood movie. Because my mother was telling them I had my belongings and I couldn't get on the bus. You know, I always try to avoid them, you know, because they also tried to put me in a psych ward in Pittsburgh in 2001. You know, my mother also was trying to avoid them because, so they knew my mother, because of a lack of proficiency in American English, and because of my lack of proficiency in American English, I guess when she was having a high blood pressure, and because of my immigration case, and she was working, and she wasn't sleeping properly, I had to call the hospital to put her in the hospital. I called 911 2001, and they went and put her in psych admission. Because, Europe in America, they always try to label blacks as crazy. Even the late Michael Jackson's father. So when they started calling him Wacko Jacko, said the day, allegedly said the day Michael Jackson was killed, he said he knew, he was expecting them to kill him. Because, and when they blamed that he was taking the pills on his own, he was injecting himself with the drugs, allegedly. His father said, it was always, his father Joseph, alleged, he was expecting his son to be killed, and they would blame him for killing himself. And said, and they later prosecuted the doctor for negligence and was able to convict the doctor for negligence. So, so a lot of blacks get mislabeled as crazy. So I'm witness, so the others were able to set my mother up, and to steal her property. And, and they didn't care. I had to fight the lawsuit by myself against the Bellevue Hospital. Because even if someone is crazy, you don't remove them from the ICU to put them in the psych ward. You let them, there's a law in America, emergency, I believe it's called, I really don't know the spelling, it's the initials. It's an emergency medicine statute, it's a federal statute that if somebody is in the hospital for a serious issue like a heart problem, you let them complete the treatment. For the heart problem, you don't downgrade them to some lower medical issue. So you don't remove somebody from the ICU to go put them in the psych ward. If someone has a heart problem, you let them stay in the ICU to complete the treatment. So our daughters were feigning mental illness of my mother and got them to remove her from the ICU and go put her in the psych ward. Our daughters in America belong in Florida, they were going in America. So, and since they succeeded in doing that, and I couldn't get a lawyer in America, anytime I come here, I get harassed, I get abused. I always use their Wi-Fi here, so, because I'm homeless on the street, so all my information is leaked out. I get hacked, my phone gets hacked. I've contacted all the lawyers, emailed a lot of the lawyers here in New York. So my information has leaked out. I've been suing the NYPD, I've been suing New York City Hospital. So now I'm experiencing retaliatory attacks. They lock up the disabled button, make sure it doesn't work. I'm having serious chest pains also, because now I'm having to push the door open with one hand and push the wheeler with the other hand. So I'm having chest pain, and they're just punishing me, and they could kill a disabled person. Now they're causing a stampede on the bathroom. They want to lock up the main bathroom, so there'll be a large number of people, and and they only open up the small bathroom. They do it here, they do it at the Penn Station. And they'll be having people grab on me. Try to bump into me. I had to call the police in Penn Station some days ago. They locked the large store there. I had to use the small store, and they had people surround me, so it was grabbing onto me. I called the police didn't take it serious. I'm like, this Penn Station was upgraded by Governor Ocho with $1 billion this year. You have security camera. If they're grabbing on me in front of the security camera, why do you police not take it serious? They were saying they don't control the security camera. I said, who controls it? They said another department does. I said, I'm like, you are the police, get in touch with that department. So something's going on whereby they're neglecting and ignoring and causing, and this is why NYPD is causing the incitement of racial mob, ethnic mobs, xenophobia mob against me. So please help me raise an alarm and the Brooklyn Federal Court. Because the Brooklyn Federal Court, after I took the case to the NYPD to them, when NYPD vacated me, they ruled there was another case before them about racial abuse by the police in New York City. So the Brooklyn Federal Court in 2013, I believe November 2013, my case went before them in September 2013, but they ruled on another case that racial profiling by the police has to stop, racial police has to stop, and the Brooklyn Federal Court ruled that the NYPD was practicing racial justice, racial policing, and unlawfully targeting blacks for forced arrest. And they're trying to get me to the fight. I'm an immigrant. They're trying to get me deported. All these people they're trying to get them to fight me, or people to fight me, bumping into me. Because that's how they can get you deported or kill you. Because there's a black American killed in Colorado. They said somebody called 911 on him because he was wearing a jacket in summer and he had a low blood count. So returning from work, and somebody called 911. This black American looks crazy, and the police came and told him they were going to take him to the psych ward, and they told him no, that he was just returning from work or whatever he told them, and the police subdued him. They injected him with a drug. There's a psychiatric drug called Activin. It's been known to cause a heart attack. It was another psychiatric drug. I don't really remember the name. But a drug called Activin, which they use at Bellevue Hospital to subdue psychiatric patients. And this is how it attacked. My mother was detained at the Bellevue Hospital. I just treatment in at Bellevue Hospital. I don't know what drug they used on my mother, but I said they were trying to forcefully force her into the psych ward, and that's when she died. So this was going on. And I said they killed a black American in Colorado. And the case went before the U.S. Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court said, ruled the police was right. You can use force to kill somebody that's crazy. So after that, so now the NYPD in 2019 also detained me. When I took my mother's case, killed in Bellevue Hospital, to court by myself. No lawyer in America would help me. Our daughter's family is innocent. My mother, our daughter's in America, belonging in Florida. So I took the case to court, and my mother was killed at Bellevue Hospital. And while the case was going on, I was doing it by myself, pro se. The NYPD was sending people to menace me. And some days after, an African was throwing water at them in Harlem. On July 20, 2019, they had this guy that was menacing me on Bay Ridge and 4th Avenue, touching me unwarrantedly, and I told him to stop doing that. So he came back and was touching me unwarrantedly in front of the police camera, and then I was trying to stop. The police came back and knocked me down. I had the video. They were choking me and put me in the psych ward. They misdiagnosed me with all kinds of mental illnesses. Now they're setting up setting me up to get killed. And there's another case in Oregon somewhere. They said somebody out there, a gay politician, may have been the governor or the mayor in Oregon or somewhere. Somebody outed him. I don't remember the state. I'm sorry if I'm, please don't take my word for verbatim regarding this state where this occurred. But it said a white male just killed himself some days ago. Because somebody leaked the picture to a newspaper or a press of him dressing like a drag queen. And he went and killed himself. Because a lot of people of the LGBT community will kill themselves because they don't want to be outed or they don't want to be discriminated against. So I believe the law should go into effect. And I believe I'm under a similar threat here. Every time I try to use the bathroom, they're marginalizing them. Use the bathroom, lock up the bathroom, cause a stampede. And even at the Washington Market Park, on Chambers, Greenwich, and also at Pier 25, that's in front of the West Side Highway. So these are a lot of these places that don't let me use the bathroom or they harass me. And even at the Pier 25, it even gets more serious. They will make false accusation against me. When I call the police will be done with them, and they tell me they want to put me in the psych ward. Since I recorded, I said once all the homeless will be moved to psych ward mainly, and it's helping black Americans get into hotel rooms. They vacated like the city of New York vacated me and my mother. And I contacted everybody, can you help me also like you're helping the black Americans? And the woman swam back to me. So historically there's been some black Americans don't like Africans due to the slave trade. They believe Africans are slavery. So I'm at the Stallion Ferry. So anytime I try to document make abuse or complaint like this, I'll suffer retaliation. So my life is not safe. Please, people need to follow up on my case. And help me file a case at the abuse corpses petition with the Brooklyn Federal Court to ask them to intervene. I'm being retaliated against. And also, please make an alarm to the Brooklyn Federal Court, to the courts for getting me justice. This is about me getting justice in court. It's about you being helping. I would appreciate if the Brooklyn Federal Court is informed right away to step into in this matter. And all the civil rights activists need to make an awareness to the whole international community, United Nations and everything, so the people behind this can be arrested. Because I'm being rendered unsanitary, and it's like there's a type of a mob to try to win money by, by harassing me. They were bumping into me, grabbing on me, all like a Ponzi scheme, like type stuff. So it's ridiculous, and they could get somebody injured because now they're disabling the disability button. I normally used to open the door, and I have testing because now the buttons don't work. I have to use one hand to push my wheeler and another hand to try to open the door. And they torture me. I've been on the street since 2010. I'm a Nigerian transsexual, and I've been denied, even though the city of New York has signed an settlement agreement since the 1990s that anybody vacated shouldn't be left on the street. They should give them hotel room right away. I've been on the street, no hotel room given. it's 13 years now. I was vacated since 2010, September 9, 2010 from Staten Island. I'm on Staten Island Ferry now. So this should be, all the people involved in denying me hotel room and my mobile hotel room, there should be prosecution. I contacted this Eric Adam also, as he said the FBI is investigating connections regarding his campaign financing. So they need to look into this. The FBI is not helping me also. Eric Garner that was trying to help me with contact was choked out. And the FBI was also surveilling me because I had an immigration court case. My mother brought me to the country in 2000. She had a green card. I was Nigerian, and she's Nigerian also. And I was a child, and I had a visa. The immigration arrested me that children can't come into the country with their mother on their green card. It was just such a ridiculous charge. And they put me in prison. So they arrested me, put me in prison. I sent my fingerprint to the FBI, so the FBI has been tapping my phone. So in 2014, Eric Garner promised to help me with my court papers. And I was recording him. He told me his name is Eric Garner. And, so they were able to they were surveilling me, the FBI. So they had the surveillance of, they had the recording in the archive. And some weeks later, after Eric Garner promised to help me with my court papers, I was standing on Bay Street. At the same place I was standing at, the NYPD met up with him. Choked him dead on that Bay Street. Close to my birthday is July 8th. They choked him dead on July 17, 2014. And they didn't let me testify in court or nothing. The FBI, has that video or has that recording in their archive and then presented to the court and refused to file federal charges against the Garner killer. So, and my mother's daughter then killed my mother like a year later. So they're refusing to help me. The international community needs to look into this as some form of Nazism when this white supremacists, FBI, whatever, are deliberately endangering an immigrant and the immigrant community by refusing to help them, and even the Black American community. They say even the Martin Luther King was allegedly killed by the FBI and CIA, and they took the case to court and won his family, but they were only able to get $100 because they filed late. The information came to them late. They say even the Malcolm X family are suing now that the FBI was involved in killing Malcolm X. So there's a particular pattern with the FBI. Allegedly hating and abetting horrific abuses, killings, torture of Black Americans and Africans. So if the Germans could arrest the Nazi, if this FBI wants to be doing Nazi, the whole wants to focus attention on it. Please follow up on my case. I'm being set up for a lynch mob. So please, if please, they try to force me to psych ward because the drugs they could give you that psych ward accident that will cause you to have a heart attack, and they claim you died mistakenly. So they're trying everything possible. I'm a human rights activist. I'm the late Eric Garner's friend. So please follow up on my case. And the international community needs to prevail on the U.S. government to arrest the nefarious characters in the police and the FBI, because this case is not going away. I'm the late Eric Garner's friend, and love will win against hate. So so they arrest him in the bathroom, and I think they want me to be beaten dead in this park. Staten Island Ferry. They also attacked me Pier 25 late at night at the Washington Market Park also. Pier 25 late at night in front of the West Side Highway. They almost got caught. They hit me. I called 911. They don't help me. I called the IAB to go hide videos. So please, make sure you stop the Nazism in the police and FBI in America, where blacks and Black Americans are getting slaughtered. I got Eric Garner dead, and I'm being harassed.